Okay, Raju, are you still there? Okay. The subject for tonight is what? It is life expectancy among both in the world and in countries and even in regions of the world. Okay, continents and so forth. Okay. Okay. Let's go over here now. Minimize this. Okay. So the subject for tonight is life expectancy around the world in countries, in regions of the world, and even in income groups. Okay. First of all, let me know how the sound is. I've decided to get rid of the live webcam simply because there was too much lag between my voice and the video. So hopefully this will solve that problem. By not. So I hope you like my avatar in the top right hand corner of the screen. So let's go to Google Sheets. The data for this evening is life expectancy. It comes from one of our favorite sites, Our World in Data. Okay, life expectancy. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. We're actually going to be doing this in Google Sheets. Let's just don't beat around the bush. Let's just fire up Google Sheets. Oh, good grief! No wonder it's so big. I don't know. Let's go 90. Hopefully you can read this. Close that. Let's go ahead and import our data. Now the key BigQuery feature, or the key function for this evening as far as Google Sheets is going to be the query function. Okay, and the syntax is very similar to SQL. You'll recognize it when you see it come by. Okay, so let's go and upload our data. And now you can see our data. Let's see if we can convert this to a table. Convert the table. Now I will say that this isn't nearly as useful as, well, let's filter column. What does that mean? Okay, good. So what you have here is you have three types of information. I guess there's three. There's a collection of data for the world. There's for individual countries, continents, and then what we're interested in, as you'll see here in just a moment, is income groups. So we're going to look at a couple things here. So you're going to come over here now. Let's just call this life. All right. So we're going to try. Let's just start with something very simple. We're going to say life $, and the columns we want to return are A through D. Okay, so we'll come up here now, and we say A:D, comma. Now, in some videos I saw, they said you have to enclose this in quotes, but I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I do. Let's enclose this in quotes. So now we got the data, we got the base functions. Now we come over here, and we could say something like where, and you also have to refer to it by column letter, not column name, unfortunately. We can say, for instance, A equals single quote world. Okay, see what this does for us. Now we got the world. But let's do something. Let's just come over here. A equals okay. So now we should have both. So let's just check and make sure we do in fact. So we do have the two countries, okay, good. So now we're ready to begin our first series of our first visualization, okay. Now, by the way, we can't convert this to a table because we're using a function, but that's okay. So now we're going to do insert pivot table. Yes, I know there is a pivot function we might be able. Let's just get adventurous here, shall we? World. Let's see. Pivot. Again, you use the letter, so let's try A. Well, let's don't worry about that. Let's just use a good old pivot table, okay? So what we want to do is we want to create a plot, okay, with a we want to create a plot that has one line for the world and one line for the U.S., okay? So go insert pivot table, new sheet. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to say rows is going to be what? Rows is going to be years. Columns is going to be entity. So, get rid of the totals. Okay, right? So now we got the two columns for world and date. And what's the value going to be? That's right, the value is going to be years. So the other thing we're going to do, we're going to come down here. I'm going to start with 1950 because this is when both of the things start. So come over here, add a filter. We want to filter years. We want to say condition greater than, right? 1949. Okay, so now we got that. Now we're ready to make our first plot. Okay, over here. Do insert chart. And now we got our first chart. Okay, let's see. Okay, good. Let's customize. Let's bring the y-axis up to I wish you would log style. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Not sure if that's useful to us. So we want to change the y-axis. Let's change it to. Let's see what this does for us. A minimum of 40. So now we got this a little closer up. Okay. Now let's add a title. Let's work on the titles. Okay. So the U.S. BS World Life I can never spell life expectancy. So you can see that the life expectancy of the U.S. is consistently, the good news is what? The good news is worldwide life expectancy has been going up. Now the question is, how much has the U.S. contributed to this increase? But consistency of the U.S.'s life expectancy is above the above the world average. Okay. If I could spell expectancy, we'd be much better off. What's the original sheets do here? It doesn't say life expectancy over here. Okay, now. Okay, so what we got over here then? If I could actually spell life expectancy, we'd be much better off, wouldn't we? Now, of course, we should note that these are actually averages, right? All right. So we can come over here now. We could say, do this. Okay. Okay. So there's our first chart. Okay. U.S. versus the world. What happens if we did this? And we want this to be a percent. Okay. Well, that's not right then, is it? We want to do it, well, shoot. Suppose we did this. Suppose we did this. So what is this telling us? So is this telling us that the U.S. is, that the world only, the world, this is the percent difference between the world and the U.S. So it's saying, I believe, that the world here is only 85% of the U.S. life expectancy, okay? So let's try this. Will this work? Chart. Okay, good. This looks okay, doesn't it? Customize. Let's go up to, I don't know, 70% maybe, x-axis title, series, vertical axis, minimum value, let's say 65. Well, that's not right, is it? uh, okay, because remember this is percent, so this is actually 0.8%. Okay, let's do this. Let's do 0.6. Okay, that's not bad. Let's come back up here. Let's see, customize. Between. Okay, so this looks okay, doesn't it? Very nice. Let's just bring this down here then a little bit. Now you have two plots. So I guess if this is correct, I find it hard to believe there's a 90%, the difference is 90%. That seems awful high. But what this should be saying is as of 2023, well, no, this is good. This means the gap is narrowing, right? So this means that 2023, the world's life expectancy was 92% of the U.S.'s number. Okay, good. So over the last since 1949, the world has gone from 68% of the U.S. life expectancy to 92%. So that's good. That's good. Of course, that's to be expected. Well, okay, you can actually see that here, can't we? You see how the gap between these two lines have narrowed? Very good. Excellent. Good job, Dave. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that, because that's a pretty doggone good job on our part, okay? And of course, as always, if you are in the background there, okay, I'm looking there, I see 5 U's. My question is, where are you people? Why aren't you in the chat session, okay? Okay. So now let's do another sheet. Okay. Now we could, of course, change this to a. How do we do this? How do we change style? Hmm? That's okay. It's not perfect, but you know it'll. What happened? What happened here? We lost one of our plots, didn't we? Alright. You can make this a little smaller, I guess. So let's go back up here. Let's redo our other plots again, shall we? Insert chart. Okay, good. Good. Let's see. Okay, this doesn't work because we can't use the good. Huh. We can do that, but that's not really necessary. Ooh, first row headers, there we go, very good. Customize chart title, US versus world, life. How do you spell expectancy? Okay. Let's go over here then. Vertical axis, let's go to 40. Let's do 35. And let's do 40. Okay. Now let's try this one as a chart style, okay? Let's try an area chart. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Let's just make the line a little bolder. So we got the percent difference again in life expectancy between US and the world. Then we actually got the numbers, okay? Good. Excellent. Okay. Let's begin looking at income groups. I just like to check and make sure it works every time. Good. So now we come over here now. Now we get a little tricky. We're going to say where A, like single quote, now we go for the dreaded percent sign. And now we got this. Okay. Now we got the income groups. Let's just come up here. And let's just, two numbers is enough, right? Okay. Now we get a little tricky. Okay, now we get a little bit tricky, all right? We look over here. Once again, we want to do a plot, okay? We want to convert the entity into our columns, okay? Entity is columns, rows is years, and the value again is going to be what? That's right, it's going to be the life expected, life in years, okay? Insert. You know, what I want you to notice here, we're actually doing some pretty good analysis, okay? We're using the query function to do some really good, simple analysis on our data. We see that the U.S. is, we can see the good news is the world is catching up to the U.S. in terms of life expectancy. To now, the world again is just to reiterate the point, is now at 92% of the U.S. life expectancy. All right, where are you 6 people at? So rows, year, right? Columns, entity, right? Values, all right? Let's come back up here. So now we got, oh, shoot, let's come back, let's do something back over here. Okay, insert pivot table, new sheet, cancel. Okay, so we want to say rows is year, columns is entity, no totals, right? Value is life expectancy, okay? So now what we want to do is we want to create a plot where we have the line numbers for have one line for each income group. Now we know their income groups, right? We know their income groups. We don't need to say country then. Okay, that's okay. So now let's create our plot. Insert, chart. Look at all these nice lines there. Goodness gracious. Let's see. So there's that. So we can probably say 25 maybe, okay, for the y-axis. Let's try that. Let's say 25. That looks okay, doesn't it? Let's see here. Come back up here. life expectancy okay, by y-axis is what? All right. And there we have our other plot for this evening. Okay. Let's do something a little funkier, shall we? What the heck? Vertical axis 25. Let's make the upper end 90, okay? There, how's that? Just narrow it down a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So what do you think? So we got the income groups. What's the biggest group up here? High income countries. The lowest is what? Low income countries is the lowest. The second one is the upper income. The third is the upper. So obviously, the higher income countries have a higher life expectancy. Okay, let's just do one more. For you folks, because I like you folks so much, I'm going to do one more. We're going to quickly compare Tunisia to the continent of Africa. Okay, we're going to compare we're going to compare Tunisia to the world. Okay, if I can remember how to spell Tunisia. Let's do this. Let's come back over here. And let's just do this. Let's do this. We got the world. Now we want to look at Tunisia. I think you're in for a pleasant surprise when you look at Tunisia, okay? Tunisia.
According to Wikipedia, Tunisia, officially the Republic of Tunisia, is a country in the Maghreb region of North Africa.
Okay? So let's compare Tunisia to the world, okay? Rows is year. Columns is entity. No totals, no totals, no totals. And values are years. Okay, so where do we want to start? We want to start around 1950, okay? Filter, years. Greater than 1943. Okay, get rid of that. Now we just do the same thing over again, right? Chart. So that's interesting. It remembers the last chart type you used. That's so interesting. Okay. Let's come down here. Set up. Second rows. There we go. Tunisia in the world. Let's see. So you can see that Tunisia is actually, you know, back in about, when is this? Back around 1974, Tunisia's life expectancy actually went above the world, which is good news. Okay? And with that, my friends, I'm going to bring this session to a close. There's, of course, there's more we can do. We can calculate, you know, we can actually calculate the percent of increase for, say, countries or for continents or something like that. It'll be interesting to calculate the percent increase or decrease for each income group, for instance. Okay, but that's a subject for another video. So I hope you realize again. The one thing about our world in data, of course, the data they have is almost always in the format you see here. So that means it's really easy to pull into Excel or Excel or Google Sheets and do some very simple but very useful analysis. So thanks so much for your time. For all you 6 people who stopped by, next time stop by for more than 27 seconds. Stop by the chat session and say hi. Share the channel, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you later.